First contact gone wrong. The colony ship, Hope's Journey, drifted peacefully through the dark space. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the bridge window, watching the stars. Behind her, 300 families slept in their pods, dreaming of their new home. "Captain, we're picking up some strange signals," Officer Tom reported, his eyes fixed on the glowing screen. Before Sarah could respond, 5 sleek alien ships appeared from nowhere. They were beautiful, with smooth silver hulls that sparkled like diamonds. The crew of Hope's Journey stared in amazement. This was humanity's first contact with alien life. "They're hailing us," Communications Officer Maria said, her hands shaking with excitement. The main screen lit up. The alien that appeared looked almost like a tall praying mantis, with green armor-like skin and large compound eyes. It spoke in perfect English, which shocked everyone. "Primitive Deathworlders," the alien said coldly. "You have left your designated zone. This is unacceptable." Sarah stepped forward. "This is Captain Chen of the Earth colony ship Hope's Journey. We come in peace and seek only tow." "Silence," the alien cut her off. "We have studied your planet Earth. You creatures evolved on a death world of extreme dangers. Your bodies can survive radiation, poison, and impacts that would kill civilized beings. Your minds are shaped by violence. You are too dangerous to join galactic society." The bridge crew looked at each other in confusion. Tom whispered, "What's wrong with being tough?" Sarah tried again. "Please, we have families aboard, children. We mean no harm." "Exactly," the alien leader said. "Your children are born survivors of a death world. They will grow to be too powerful, too dangerous. The council has decided. You must be stopped before you spread." The alien ships moved into attack position. Their weapons began to glow. "They're charging weapons," Tom shouted. "Shields aren't responding." Sarah grabbed the ship's comm. "This is the captain. All hands, prepare for." The first blast hit like a hammer. The bridge shook. Warning lights flashed everywhere. "Engine hit," engineering reported. "We're losing power." Sarah knew they had seconds left. She ran to the emergency beacon and hit the broadcast button. "This is colony ship Hope's Journey. We are under unprovoked attack by alien forces. They call us Deathworlders and say humanity is too dangerous to live. If anyone receives this, Earth must know. We are not alone in space, and they want us dead." The second blast tore through the ship's hull. Air began rushing out. Sarah watched the alien ships circle around for the killing shot. In her last moments, she thought of all the sleeping families who would never wake up. "May Earth avenge us," she whispered. The final blast turned Hope's Journey into a ball of fire. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. In a massive chamber on a distant world, the Galactic Council gathered. Hundreds of alien species sat in rising tiers, all watching recorded footage of the Hope's Journey's destruction. "The human vessel has been eliminated," Supreme Counselor Voxir announced. His mantis-like form towered over the speaker's platform. "But this is only the beginning. Our scouts report 12 more human colony ships have left their solar system." Murmurs filled the chamber. A small bird-like alien spoke up. Was destruction necessary? They seemed peaceful. "You don't understand," Voxer said. "These humans, their home world is a nightmare by our standards. High gravity, extreme temperatures, deadly radiation, aggressive predators. The fact they survive there makes them incredibly dangerous. Their bodies are radiation resistant. Their bones are like steel. They can survive injuries that would kill any of us." He played more footage. Images of human soldiers, athletes, and workers filled the screen. "Look how they live. They enjoy fighting for sport. They run for fun. They deliberately expose themselves to danger. Even their children play at violence. If we let them join galactic society, they will dominate us all within generations." The council members watched in horror as the presentation showed humans recovering from injuries, surviving extreme conditions, and demonstrating their strength. The decision is made, Votsa declared. All human ships must be destroyed. Their colonies must be wiped out. We will push them back to their death world and contain them there. But in a dark corner of the chamber, an old alien scholar shook his head sadly. You fools, he whispered. You're making a terrible mistake. If humans are truly as tough as you say, what will happen when they learn of this? What will they do when they discover we attacked their families? The answer to his question would come sooner than anyone expected. At that very moment, Hope's Journey's final transmission was racing through space toward Earth. The war that would reshape the galaxy had begun, gathering storm. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a bunker that officially didn't exist, Earth's military leaders sat in stunned silence. The holographic projection of Hope's Journey's final moments flickered in the center of the room. General Maria Santos slammed her fist on the table. That's the fourth recording we've received this week. 4 colony ships, all attacked without warning. 5 now, Admiral Chen said quietly. Everyone turned to look at him. His sister had been captain of Hope's Journey. We just got word about the Paradise Dawn. Same story, same aliens, same excuse about us being Deathworlders. The room's AI assistant projected a star map. Red dots marked where each colony's ship had been destroyed. They formed a perfect circle around Earth's space. They're containing us, Colonel Jackson observed, like a quarantine. A young lieutenant burst into the room. Sirs, you need to see this. He connected his tablet to the main display. We've decoded more of their transmissions. Look what our deep space telescopes caught. The image showed something that made even the hardened military leaders gasp. A massive structure was being built at the edge of the solar system, ring-shaped with strange energy patterns flowing through it. It's some kind of barrier, the lieutenant explained. They're trying to lock us in our own solar system. Not just that, Dr. Emma Wright, Earth's leading xenobiologist, pointed to strange readings. Those energy signatures, they're designed to disrupt our jump drive technology. They studied us. They know exactly how our ships work. Admiral Chen stood up. So we build new ones, different ones. If they think humans are so dangerous, let's show them why. Wait, Dr. Wright interrupted. She pulled up another screen showing biological scans of the alien ship's debris. Look at their physical structure. Their bodies are fragile by our standards because they evolved on low-gravity worlds. What we consider normal conditions would crush them. General Santos' eyes lit up. That's why they fear us. We're not just survivors of a death world. To them, we're superhuman. And they just killed thousands of our civilians, Colonel Jackson added grimly, including children. The room fell silent again. Everyone knew what this meant. Humanity had tried to reach for the stars in peace. Instead, they found fear, prejudice, and death. Admiral Chen walked to the window overlooking the underground shipyard where Earth's new fleet was being built. They think we're monsters. Fine, let's show them what real monsters can do. But first, Dr. Wright said, we need to be smarter than them. I have an idea. She brought up designs for a new type of ship, one that would use the aliens' prejudice against them. They expect brute force from Deathworlders. They'll never expect this. The plans showed a vessel unlike anything humanity had built before. Part warship, part Trojan horse, it would change the course of the coming war. In orbit, Earth's factories began working overtime. The aliens thought they were containing a primitive species. They didn't realize they were poking a sleeping giant. And in the vast darkness between stars, more human ships disappeared. Each destruction added fuel to the fire. Each lost life became another reason for what would come next. The aliens had made 3 crucial mistakes. 1. They assumed humanity's strength was their only advantage too. They thought they could contain an entire species that had survived Earth's challenges. 3. Most importantly, they never learned the old human saying, beware the fury of a patient man. As Earth prepared its response, encrypted messages spread between hidden human colonies that had survived the initial attacks. a simple code phrase, "Remember Hope's journey." The aliens thought they were preventing a threat. Instead, they were creating exactly what they feared most, a humanity that would no longer play nice. In the Galactic Council chamber, the old scholar who had warned them watched the reports of human ships going silent. He knew that each destroyed vessel wasn't weakening humanity, it was teaching them. And soon, very soon, the lesson would be complete. The real war was about to begin, and it would start with Dr. Wright's mysterious ship carrying a surprise that would make the aliens regret ever hearing the word Deathworlder. The warning signs. The alien ambassador Voxel stood tall in the emergency peace conference, his mantis-like form towering over the human representative. Behind him, the holographic faces of the Galactic Council watched with disdain. "Your species leaves us no choice," Voxel said. "Already your presence corrupts the galaxy." On Trading Station 7, a human child survived a fall that would kill any civilized being. On Colony World Zenith, your workers lifted machinery that should require anti-gravity units. You are simply too dangerous. Sarah Martinez, Earth's chosen diplomat, smiled. She was a small woman, barely reaching Voxel's chest, but her eyes held something that made the alien leader step back: amusement. "Let me tell you a story," Sarah said, her voice carrying through the chamber. "Yesterday, I got this cut." She showed a small scar on her hand. "By tomorrow, it will be mostly healed. You call this dangerous. We call it Tuesday." She pressed a button, and the room's display changed to show Earth's history. "You fear us because we survive, because we heal, because we grow stronger from things that should kill us, but you never asked why." The images showed humans helping each other after disasters, rebuilding cities, saving lives. "We don't just survive, Ambassador. We protect. We nurture. Every human strength you fear came from our need to protect each other. Our bones aren't strong so we can hurt you. They're strong so we can carry our wounded. Our bodies don't heal quickly for combat. They heal so we can keep helping others." In orbit above them, hidden from the alien sensors, Dr. Wright's secret project was nearing completion. The ship looked normal from the outside, but inside, it carried humanity's response to the aliens' aggression. Back in the conference room, Voxel laughed. "Pretty words from a primitive species, but we've seen your wars, your conflicts." "Have you seen them end?" Sarah interrupted. "Every human war in history has ended with handshakes between former enemies. We fight hard, yes, but we forgive harder. We rebuild together. That's what makes us different." She stood up, somehow seeming taller than the alien diplomat. "You attacked our colony's ships, killed our families, and still we came here to talk. That's not weakness, Ambassador. That's power you can't understand. You dare threaten the Council." Voxel's color changed with anger. "Not a threat, a warning. You call Earth a death world, but you never asked what that means. On a death world, everything is trying to kill you. So you either become a monster, or you become a guardian." Sarah's next words sent chills through the alien assembly. "You chose which one will be when you murdered our children. This is your last chance for peace." In space, Dr. Wright's ship activated its engines. Inside, 5,000 pods contained something the aliens never expected: genetically engineered plants from Earth. Plants that could survive in space, spread through asteroid fields, and create breathable atmosphere bubbles. Plants that would turn the very void they tried to trap humanity in into human habitable zones. The aliens thought they were containing humans to one world. They didn't realize humans were about to terraform the entire containment zone. "You have one day to remove your barrier and leave our space," Sarah said, turning to leave. "After that, we stop playing by your rules." "Or what?" Voxel demanded. Sarah paused at the door. "We'll give you what you fear most, a galaxy where humans can live anywhere, even in deep space, even on your safe worlds." As she left, alarms began blaring through the alien station. Dr. Wright's ship had been detected, but it was too late. The pods were already launching, each carrying seeds of humanity's survival. The aliens had tried to cage humanity. Instead, they were about to learn why Earth's species were the most adaptable in the known galaxy. In her private chamber, Sarah contacted Earth Command. They chose their path: launch Operation Eden. Across Earth's hidden shipyards, vessels began powering up. But these weren't warships. They were arcs, carrying Earth's greatest weapon, life itself. The aliens wanted to see monsters. Instead, they would witness something far more terrifying: humanity's unstoppable drive to make any place livable, to turn deathworlds into gardens, to thrive where nothing should survive. The real war wouldn't be fought with weapons, but with seeds, spores, and the very essence of what made Earth a death world, its relentless, unstoppable life. First strike. The aliens called Space Station Aurora a primitive outpost. From their ships, it looked defenseless, just a simple research station studying space plants. The perfect target for their first major strike against the human space presence. Commander Liliwei watched the alien fleet approach on his screen. 12 warships, their weapons charged. Behind him, his crew worked calmly, despite knowing they were heavily outnumbered. They took the bait. Dr. Wright's voice came through the secure channel. She was watching from Earth. All those ships are the exact ones we predicted, the Firstborn class, just like the ones that destroyed our colony's ships. Lai smiled. Time to show them why you don't attack a gardener's greenhouse. The alien commander's face appeared on their screen. Primitive Deathworlders, surrender your station or be destroyed. You have 5 minutes to evacuate. Funny thing about plants from Earth, Lai responded, pressing a sequence of buttons. They've evolved some very interesting defense mechanisms. Around the station, the massive greenhouses that the aliens thought were for research began to change. The plants inside were actually a new kind of biological technology, part organic, part machine, created from Earth's most resilient species. You see, Lai continued, when you attacked our colonies, you taught us something important. Traditional weapons wouldn't be enough, so we looked to our own world for inspiration. The greenhouse walls retracted. Inside were massive flowering structures, each one a different Earth species modified by Dr. Wright's team. Giant space-adapted pitcher plants, their throats lined with electromagnetic disruptors. Massive solar-powered Venus flytraps, capable of trapping and crushing small ships. Spore-launching pods, filled with microscopic organisms that could eat through alien hull material. What is this abomination? The alien commander demanded, his compound eyes showing fear for the first time. Just some gardening, Lai replied. Everything grows better with good fertilizer. The station's true nature was revealed. Those simple research greenhouses formed a massive organic defense system. Each plant was connected to the station's AI, creating a living weapon unlike anything the galaxy had seen. The alien ships opened fire, but their shots were absorbed by thick walls of modified bamboo fiber, the strongest natural material on Earth, now enhanced to be nearly indestructible in space. Fun fact about Earth plants, Lai said as he gave the command to counterattack. They don't just defend, they grow, they spread, they conquer. The modified pitcher plants launched their first attack, electromagnetic pulses shutting down 3 alien ships instantly. The Venus flytraps extended on massive vines, grabbing 2 more ships and crushing their hulls. But the real surprise came from the spore pods. They released clouds of microscopic Earth organisms, tardigrades modified to eat through alien metal. The tiny creatures, already nearly indestructible in their natural form, now served as living missiles. The alien commander watched in horror as his ships began to disintegrate. This is impossible. You're supposed to be primitive. No, Lai corrected him. We're adaptable, and you gave us a reason to adapt very, very quickly. The remaining alien ships tried to retreat, but the station's plants had already released their seeds into space. Each seed contained a new ecosystem waiting to grow, ready to turn the void into humanity's new garden. From Earth, Dr. Wright watched the data stream in. Station Aurora successful, she reported to command. Phase 1 complete. The spores are spreading exactly as planned. The aliens had thought they were attacking a defenseless research station. Instead, they had triggered the release of humanity's new weapon, life itself. Unstoppable, self-replicating, evolving life from Earth's harshest environments. In the wreckage of the alien ships, the first seeds began to sprout, creating bubbles of Earth-like conditions in space. The very weapons the aliens had feared, humanity's ability to survive anywhere, were becoming their worst nightmare. Commander Lai sent one final message to the retreating alien ships. Tell your council this. Earth isn't just our home, it's our teacher, and class is now in session. In the following days, reports reached the Galactic Council of strange growths appearing on their ships, stations, and even their safe worlds. Earth plants growing where nothing should grow, adapting, spreading. The Deathworlders hadn't just brought weapons to the war, they'd brought their world with them. And this was only the beginning, the turn. The Galactic Council's emergency session erupted in chaos. Holographic displays showed their worst nightmare. Earth plants growing on their ships, their stations, even their homeworlds. High Commander Zixtal sounded his crystalline appendage on the podium. Impossible. Our latest attack fleet, destroyed by plants. An aide rushed in, that insect-like form trembling. Sir, we've decoded more human transmissions. You need to see this. The main screen activated, showing Dr. Wright in her laboratory. She was speaking to Earth's leaders, unaware they were being watched. Phase 2 is ready, she announced. The tardigrades have evolved exactly as planned. They're not just eating their ships now, they're learning from them, incorporating the alien metals into their own biology. The council watched in horror as the screen showed microscopic Earth creatures evolving in real time. The tardigrades, already nearly immortal, were becoming something new, hybrid creatures that could survive anywhere, adapt to anything. But that's not the worst part, Dr. Wright continued. Remember those seeds we launched? They started connecting to each other. The plants aren't just growing in space, they're creating a network. A living highway system. She pulled up a new map. Thin green lines connected between stars, showing where Earth plants had created paths of habitable space. By next week, humans will be able to walk, literally walk, between star systems. The council chamber erupted again. An alien scientist stepped forward, their holographic form flickering with anxiety. The humans, they explained, they've weaponized their entire ecosystem. Those plants from their death world, they're terraforming space itself. Meanwhile, on the edges of human space, a group of alien scouts made a discovery that chilled them to their core. They found an abandoned human ship, but something was wrong. The ship's hull was growing. Inside, they found Earth plants had merged with the ship's systems. The metal walls had become living tissue. The computers had been replaced by organic processors made from modified fungal networks. The scouts tried to transmit their findings, but their equipment failed. Strange spores had already infected their suits, their ships, their bodies. They weren't in danger, the infection wasn't lethal. It was something worse. The spores were rewriting their biology, making them stronger, more resilient, making them more like humans. Back on Earth, Sarah Martinez prepared for another diplomatic meeting, but this time she carried a small plant pot. Inside was a simple dandelion, one of Earth's most unstoppable plants. You called us Deathworlders, she would tell them, but death isn't our specialty. Life is. Stubborn, unstoppable, adaptable life. And now, thanks to you, it's spreading. The aliens had wanted to contain humanity. Instead, they had forced them to innovate. Those primitive Deathworlders had turned their greatest weakness, their harsh world, into their greatest weapon. Dr. Wright's voice echoed through Earth Command. The network is reaching their core worlds. Soon, Earth life will be everywhere. They can't stop it. They can't contain it. They can only choose. Adapt or be left behind. In deep space, alien ships began reporting strange changes. Their crews were growing stronger. Their children were being born tougher. The human infection wasn't killing them, it was elevating them. The Council faced an impossible choice: fight against this unstoppable tide of life, or accept their future as Deathworlders themselves. And somewhere in the vast network of living space plants, the first hybrid creatures emerged. Not human, not alien, but something new. Something that could survive anywhere, adapt to anything. The aliens had feared humans would take over the galaxy. Instead, humans had given the galaxy their greatest gift, the power to survive. Commander Lee's voice crackled through the growing biological network. Phase 3 is ready. The real changes are about to begin. Breaking point. The alien Supreme Commander Vexthor stared his own hands in disbelief. They were changing. Everyone was changing. Earth's biological network had reached their central worlds, and with it came evolution. "Sir," his aide reported, voice deeper than yesterday, bones visibly stronger. "The humans have launched something new. They call it the Genesis Fleet." The massive screen showed thousands of ships emerging from hyperspace. But they weren't warships. They were massive biological structures, part ship, part Earth ecosystem, their hulls alive and growing. Dr. Wright stood on the bridge of the flagship, the Genesis Prime. Around her, the ship's walls pulsed with life, veins of modified bamboo, providing structural support stronger than any metal. "Begin the awakening," she commanded. Across the galaxy, every modified plant, every evolved tardigrade, every hybrid creature responded to her signal. The biological network that connected them sparked to life with a new purpose. In the council chamber, now overgrown with earth plants, the old scholar who had warned them finally spoke again. "You feared they would conquer us with weapons. Instead, they're saving us with life itself." The Genesis fleet split into formation, each ship releasing clouds of golden spores. But these weren't weapons. They were the culmination of Dr. Wright's vision, conscious evolution catalysts. "You tried to trap us in our death world," Sarah Martinez's voice broadcasted across all frequencies. "So we're turning every world into a life world." The spores reached the alien worlds, but instead of destroying, they began transforming. Weak atmospheres strengthened, fragile ecosystems evolved, and the aliens themselves continued changing, not into humans, but into stronger versions of themselves. Commander Lee, his ship now fully merged with Earth biology, reported the incredible changes. "The network isn't just connecting spaces anymore, it's connecting species. We're creating something entirely new." Deep in space, the first bridge worlds appeared. Entire planets formed from evolved Earth plants, creating stepping stones between star systems. Life was no longer bound to planets. Space itself was becoming living tissue. But the most stunning change came from the alien children. Those born near the network were different. They could breathe in any atmosphere, survive extreme conditions, communicate with the living ships. They were the first generation of true space-adapted beings. Vexthor received the reports with trembling hands. 70% of known space now connected by living networks. 90% of alien species showing rapid beneficial evolution. 100% of new alien children born with enhanced survival capabilities. "Don't you see?" Dr. Wright's voice echoed through the living network. "We never wanted to rule the galaxy. We wanted to free it from its own limitations." The Genesis Prime approached the alien capital world. Its living hull had grown to massive proportions, now resembling a floating forest in space. Inside, humans worked alongside evolved aliens, guiding the transformation of the galaxy. Sarah Martinez stood before the council one last time, but now she wasn't alone. Behind her stood representatives of 100 alien races, all of them changed, adapted, enhanced by Earth's gift of evolution. "You called Earth a death world," she said. "But death was never our strength. Life was. Adaptable, unstoppable, ever-evolving life. And now that gift belongs to everyone." The old scholar rose, his once fragile form now strong enough to survive on any world. We feared they would make us like them. Instead, they made us better versions of ourselves. In Earth's labs, Dr. Wright watched as the final phase began. The network wasn't just connecting the galaxy anymore, it was awakening it. Every planet, every star system, every particle of space was becoming part of a vast, living organism. The aliens had tried to quarantine humanity. Instead, humanity had given the galaxy its greatest gift, the power to evolve beyond all limitations. And in the depths of space, the first truly new life forms emerged, beings born from the merger of all species, capable of swimming through space like fish through water, their very existence proof that life would always find a way. The war was over. The age of the Deathworlders was ending. The age of life unbound had begun. The lesson. 1 year after the Genesis fleet's launch, the galaxy had become unrecognizable. The Grand Hall of the new Galactic Council was a living structure, walls made of transparent, evolved bamboo, stronger than steel but pulsing with life. Supreme Councillor Voxel, once humanity's greatest enemy, stood at the podium. His evolved form was a perfect blend of his species' grace and earthborn resilience. Behind him, a window showed the spectacular view. Space itself had changed, glowing with threads of bioluminescent networks connecting the stars. "Let the historical records show," he announced, "that we were wrong about humanity. We feared they would bring death to the galaxy. Instead, they brought unlimited life." Dr. Wright stepped forward, her aging slowed by the same evolutionary changes affecting all species. She carried a small clear container. Inside was a simple dandelion, unchanged, original, from Earth. "This is how it all started," she said, "a simple weed. On Earth, we called these weeds because they could grow anywhere, survive anything. We saw them as pests, but they taught us the most important lesson: life finds a way." The assembled delegates, now representing over 10,000 evolved species, watched as she opened the container. The dandelion seeds floated out, dancing in the artificial gravity. 1 year ago, we launched the Genesis fleet. We thought it was the end of our journey. We were wrong. It was just the beginning. Holographic displays showed the latest discoveries. The living network had developed consciousness, becoming a vast, benevolent intelligence. New species were emerging in deep space, born from the merger of biology and void. The first star whales, massive space-adapted creatures that could travel between galaxies. Children of all species now born with the ability to communicate with the living universe. Commander Lee, his body now partially merged with his living ship, reported from the galaxy's edge. "We've detected signals from other galaxies. The network is spreading. Life is spreading." Sarah Martinez, now head of the Interspecies Evolution Council, stood next to Voxel. "Remember Hope's journey," she said, referencing the colony ship whose destruction had started it all. "We named that ship well. Hope wasn't just a word, it was a prophecy." The hall's displays showed the transformed worlds. Former desert planets now thriving with evolved life. Ocean worlds where new species swam through liquid space. Gas giants housing floating cities made of living tissue. The first seed ships preparing to carry life to other galaxies. But the most remarkable change was in the aliens themselves. Those who had once feared human strength now understood it wasn't strength that made humans special, it was adaptability. And now every species shared that gift. "We present this final proposal," Voxel announced, "to rename our galaxy, no longer the Milky Way, but Genesis, the birthplace of unlimited life." Dr. Wright released more seeds into the chamber. As they floated, they began to glow, each one carrying the potential for new evolution, new life, new possibilities. "You called us Deathworlders," she said, "but death was never Earth's gift to the universe. Earth's gift was this: the understanding that life, in all its forms, is meant to be free. Free to grow, free to change, free to become more than anyone thought possible." In deep space, the first generation of star-born children played among the living networks, their laughter carried through the biological pathways connecting all life. They were neither human nor alien, but something new, children of the living galaxy itself. The old scholar, now keeper of the new Universal Library, wrote the final entry about the war. We feared the Deathworlders would destroy us. Instead, they destroyed only our limitations. In trying to contain them, we forced them to share their greatest strength, the power to turn adversity into advantage, survival into prosperity, isolation into connection. And somewhere, in the vast living network that had once been empty space, the consciousness of HFY's Journey's crew lived on, their patterns preserved in the biological memory of the galaxy itself. They had become part of everything, their sacrifice transformed into the seeds of universal transformation. The final images showed Earth, now a shining jewel among countless living worlds. No longer a death world, but recognized at last for what it had always been, a crucible of unstoppable life. Class dismissed, Sarah Martinez said softly, as the first seeds of Genesis drifted toward new galaxies. The real lesson is just beginning. The universe would never be the same, and that was exactly what life had intended all along.